Continuing our series on 1992 that I started with 5 great albums from 1992. Today, I'm going to share 5 great singles from 1992. Now, one thing about the singles that we always ask you to remember is it doesn't matter if the album was released in 1991 or 1990 or anywhere near the same year. It's just when the single itself was released or the single was a hit. That's how we do it here. So, and I say that because there's at least 2 albums on this list where the album was released before 1992, but the single itself came out in 1992. Right out of the gate, I'm starting with one. U2 and the song One from the album Achtung Baby. I don't have any disrespect for this entire record. I think it's an excellent album. The only time I ever saw U2 was in '92 on that tour. We actually have a reaction video to the footage of that on the channel. But the single One, for a band who completely changed the game with their album that the song One is from, to me, One is as close to the sound that they had going before, like Without You, I Still Haven't Found What I'm Looking For. Without trying to sound like they were pandering, and trying to get a very serious message across, and in the process of raising awareness for HIV awareness and looking for cures and whatnot. But beside that aspect of it, the song itself, to this day, it holds up. It's just one of the best U2 songs that they ever created, in my opinion. The next one is one from an artist that I don't think a lot of people think I would have talked about, and Richard Marx, who I know people know for Right Here Waiting and Don't Mean Nothing and all that. I like all those songs, but his single for Hazard, I think, is a really underrated hidden gem. Especially from that era, because so much other stuff was so big at the time. But it's a great mid-tempo song. I wouldn't call it a ballad, but it's far more serious subject than Richard Marx usually handles in his songs. It's a murder mystery, for crying out loud, like right within one song. And the video goes along with it as well. But for me, it's not one of those songs that is overly aided by the video. Like, I wouldn't play the song for you and then say, oh, well, if you saw the video, you'd like the song more. I think the song totally stands up on its own. So check out Hazard by Richard Marx, because I think if all you've ever heard is Right Here Waiting or Angelia or whatever, I think you'll be surprised by how much more serious of a track this is. The next one is one that's heavily reliant on a sample, but that's what we just did back then. We just did a really, really heavy reliance on sampling. But for me, when somebody takes a sample and they make something so new and fresh out of it, it's fine by me. Set Adrift on Memory Bliss by PM Dawn, of course, based on the sample True by Spandau Ballet. I vaguely remember True being a hit when I was a kid, and so when I heard Set Adrift on Memory Bliss, I was like, I thought that was already done. Like, it wasn't something where I said, oh, that was that sample. So I fell in love with this song and the rhyme scheme and the way that they deliver the rhymes in the song, the vocal in the song. Before I was like, oh yeah, that was a hit before. So it was kind of, I guess the desired effect was there for me where I picked it up first. But I think it's an absolutely fantastic single, and one that I really wish not carried. It's one of those things that was huge at the time, but I don't think very many people remember it. So when you're done with this video, if you want, search for PM Dawn, Set Adrift on Memory Bliss, and I think you'll really dig it. The next one is one that I think got overshadowed by another band at the time, had a massive acoustic ballad, but I think an awesome single from 1992 was To Be With You by Mr. Big, which is, it's one of those things where it sounds completely different than everything else Mr. Big did, or still did after that, for sure. But it's a fantastic little ballad. It's a really good acoustic song. Eric Martin's vocals are great. Of course, Billy Sheehan, we know Billy can do far more on guitar or on bass guitar than is in this song. Same thing with Paul. We know Paul can do a lot more with a 6-string guitar than what is on the song. But I would say that the solo in this song, as simplistic as it is absolutely fantastic. It's a great solo. So for me, that's a huge single from 1992, Mr. Big and To Be With You. The next one is an artist who the album came out late in the year before, and is prone for, okay, well, there's 50 singles off of that record that are fantastic. But if I was going to narrow it down to one, the single Remember the Time by Michael Jackson from the Dangerous record. And again, even if you're thinking of the Dangerous album, you're probably thinking of 4 different other singles that were absolutely fantastic from the album. But I like Remember the Time because to me it sounds completely different than anything else on the rest of that record. I mean, it's still got that New Jack Swing element to it, but it's just a lot lower. I guess maybe the only thing on the record that sounds close to it to me is another single called In the Closet. But it's just such a groovy song. Like it's one of those songs that even if you never bothered listening to the vocal, just the bass line on it and the beat on it really carries the whole song. Michael's vocal outro near the end of the whole In the Park After Dark, Do You Remember Girl, all that stuff, fantastic. And this is another one like Richard Marx too, where it's like the video doesn't steal its thunder, but the video certainly helps. Like if you love this song and then you go watch the video, you'll be even more impressed. So like I said at the top of this series, 1992 was a ridiculous year for music. There's so much good stuff out there. You may not have even thought of these 5 singles when you're thinking of 1992, or at least drop a comment, maybe leave us maybe at least 1 or 2 of the first singles that pop into your head from 1992, songs that you just absolutely love. And I like the ones where it's like the Richard Marx thing or PM Dawn, where like it was big at the time, but I wish more people knew now. So if you have something like that that you want to share with us, by all means, drop a comment and let us know. And as we always say, thank you so much for watching.